Hi, you're very welcome again to Beginner Piano Lessons. So this week we're going to learn about how to read music. If you remember, in the last lesson we learnt the notes on the piano and the scale of C. So if you look at a piece of music, you will see a treble clef sign and a bass clef sign, and there's always 5 lines afterwards, and on each of those lines are the notes. They go on the line, in between the lines, in both the treble and the bass clef. Here's a simpler piece, it's a children's piece, and you'll see exactly the same: treble clef, bass clef, treble clef, bass clef, and the notes. In this piece there is only treble clef, and in this piece here there is only the bass clef. So we play the treble clef with the right hand. So the notes are, as we learned last week, the scale of C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, to the high C. And the bass clef, we are going to add in this week the left hand. So C, E, A, G, F, E, D, C. So to start with, we will look at the treble clef. Every note we learn sits on either a space or a line on these 5 lines, even above and below. So what we're going to begin with is middle C, which is simply a circle with a line through it. It's like a floating line just below your 5 lines. And then the very next note, which sits just in between your floating line and the next line, is D. And then we carry on the line E, between the lines F, on the line G, between the lines A, on the line B, between the line C. So that is your first scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then we carry on. This is your high C on the piano. And you carry on to C, D, E, F, G, and then you can even go higher, G, A, and continue on. But to begin with, this is simply all we need to learn. A poem I was taught when I learned to play piano was, for the notes on the lines, every good boy deserves fruit. E, G, B, D, F. It's an easy and quick way to work out your notes when you're actually reading music. And then for the spaces, F, A, C, E simply spells face for each space. So that's the notes for the treble clef. Now let's look at the bass clef, which we'll play with the left hand. And just like the treble clef, the notes will fall on the lines and on the spaces. But this time we start with middle C, floating above the lines. So we have C, B, A, G. As you will notice, we're actually doing the alphabet backwards. F, E, D, C. And that's your first scale. And you carry on. B, A, G, F. And if you add a floating line, you continue on to E. So as you see, if you follow the alphabet, you're actually reading it backwards here, but you can see it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, going that way. So again, there's a little poem that I was taught when I was learning piano. For the lines, you've got Granny bought dates for Anne. G, B, D, F, A. And spaces, all cows eat grass. A, C, E, G. As you see up here, A, C, E, G. They're just handy little ways of quickly trying to work out a note when you're reading music. You can, of course, make up your own that are easy and catchy that you'll remember. So if I was to play the treble clef on its own, begins with middle C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, B, C. Bass clef, the left hand part, once again begins on middle C. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And if I was to play them together, as you would reading a piece of music, treble and bass clef, it would play like this. So now if we go back to the pieces we were looking in the beginning in the children's book, let's play Birthday Party with the treble clef in the right hand and Sandman's Near with the bass clef in the left hand. So if I was to play this piece of music, this one only has the treble clef. You will see the very first note is middle C, sitting below the line. D, E, C, D, E, D, C, D, E, C, C. So if I was to play that, C, D, E, C, D, E, D, C, D, E, C, 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 D, E, C, D, E, D, C, D, E, C, C. And this piece, which is the bass clef, we have C, middle C again, that sits above the line, C, B, A, C, B, A, B, C, B, C, A, A. C, B, A, C, B, A, B, C, B, C, A, A. So that's us for today's lesson. I'd recommend you spend this week having a look at pieces of music, either online or any piece of music you have at home, and just look at the notes and see can you work out their note in the treble clef and in the bass clef. Or test yourself. Get a blank piece of paper, draw the treble clef 5 lines, bass clef 5 lines, and circle in spaces on the lines and work out your notes. The best way to learn is to practice. So till next time, keep practicing. Bye now.